Welcome, Zaslow Show 2.0. It is a Friday, the 21st of June. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast, presented as always by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. If you've been in an accident, it doesn't matter what kind, hit and run, motorcycle, boating. If you're dealing with a personal injury, I send you to where you're going to be treated like family. And that's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Got a fun show planned today. We did it, everyone. We made it to Friday. We're here. And of course, on Friday, we're in a great mood because we're getting the weekend started. I'm going to tell you if it's a big game or not a big game. I'm going to tell you if it's a big movie or not a big movie. This is a very big weekend for movies. We'll get to that coming up. Yesterday, though, so last night, nothing going on, no sports, Marlins, no Marlins last night, and no wrestling last night, although I watched a little bit of Impact Wrestling late last night, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so yesterday, I said to my son, now, maybe it's in big movie or not a big movie, I don't know, I'm not going to spoil it and give it away, but I said to my younger son, Jordan, I was like, do you want to see the Barbie movie? Because I think the Barbie movie is probably a lot of fun, all right? And it's getting really good reviews. And he was like, yeah, I think I would go see it. And so I tried to get my wife and my other son to come. We would go as a family. We would go the four of us, okay? Maybe it'll be fun. And they were both, yeah, we're not going to do that. They didn't want to come. And so then it just came down to me and my son Jordan. And I said to him, I go, all right, do you think that it'd be, like, is it weird if it's just two dudes? We're going to see Barbie? And by the way, I checked the seating situation. This Barbie movie's going to make a lot of money this weekend. Like, most shows were packed yesterday based on, I was checking the seating arrangements. But I said to Troy, I go, isn't it kind of weird, couple dudes just going to see Barbie? And he thought about it for a second. He's like, yeah, I think that's weird. I was like, I think it's weird too. Is that weird? Wouldn't it have been weird? Like, if you go to the Barbie movie, you're expecting a father and son to be sitting there with a Barbie movie? I think I probably gotta wait. Like I said, I think that movie looks funny. Probably, like Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie. Who doesn't like Margot Robbie? I mean, give me a break. Come on. Wolf of Wall Street. Oh my God. But the two, father-son Barbie movie, two dudes Barbie movie. I don't know. We weren't feeling it. So we didn't do anything last night. I mean, Zaslow men, we went swimming last night. That's all we did. Because it's 1,000 degrees outside. Anyway, is Barbie going to be a big movie or not a big movie? I don't know. I'm trying not to spoil it for you guys. So that'll come up. All right. I got some movie stuff I want to do. Otherwise, I want to talk about what I think is the greatest film director out right now. And that's Christopher Nolan. Oppenheimer's out today. It's a very big Barbenheimer, right? Between the marketing between Barbie and Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer. Okay, we're going to see Oppenheimer this Sunday afternoon. We're actually going as a family. We're going to see Oppenheimer. It is long. It's a 3-hour runtime, which I don't, definitely does not include the trailers. So, and trailers these days are 25 minutes. So you're talking about 3.5 hours in the movie theater. Buckle up. That's why we're not going to, well, there's another reason why we're not going tonight. We'll get to that in a second. But that's why we're not going tonight, because I'd rather just take up the day. Let's go in the middle of the day. Let's go Sunday afternoon. So we're going to see Oppenheimer Sunday afternoon. I'm going to circle back to that. I want to go over Christopher Nolan, who I think is the best filmmaker out there. And this is, presumably going to be a monster movie. People are talking about it as his masterpiece, Oppenheimer. Anyway, and isn't it funny, by the way, he uses all the same actors. Cillian Murphy is in like every one of his movies. Michael Caine is in all of his movies. Who else in a bunch of his movies? The Asian guy, I forget his name, but he's in a bunch of the movies. He loves using the same actors. Anyway, so I'll circle back to that. Another big reason why we're not going to see Oppenheimer tonight. Tonight's Leo Messi's debut with Inter Miami. Tonight's the night. We've been waiting for this. Leo Messi is debuting tonight. It is not an MLS game. It is a League Cup game. They're playing against, it's like Liga MX's Cruz Azul. I don't know where Liga MX is, But Cruz Azul is in town. It's a match game, a group play game for this tournament that Inter Miami's playing in. And they actually have another tournament game coming up on Monday night, also at Dry Pig Stadium, against Atlanta United. But tonight, against Cruz Azul, Dry Pig Stadium, Leo Messi's debut with Inter Miami. This is must-see TV. So excited about tonight. I don't even... And look, there's a part of me where it's... hey, I don't know anything about this Cruz Azul. Maybe they're amazing. I have no idea. I wouldn't know Cruz Azul if they slapped me in the face. But I am interested in what it looks like. And I talked about this earlier in the week, right? With Inter Miami insider Mike Ryan from the Dan Le Batard Show. Where can you just plop Leo Messi, greatest player ever, onto this really poor Inter Miami team? And what does it look like? Are they going to look competent? Are they going to look good? Are they going to score goals? Do you mesh right away? Like, what is the immediate impact? And I know Sergio Busquets is debuting today on defense as well. But what does it mean for Leo Messi just to show up with this Inter Miami team? Does it make a difference immediately? Like the way that if you throw LeBron James on any basketball team, throw LeBron James. Now I'm talking about like LeBron, prime LeBron. I know Messi's not prime anymore. But if you throw LeBron on the worst team in the league, you're going to see the difference. They're going to look a whole lot better. Are we going to see that tonight? That's the main thing for me going into tonight. Are we going to be able to see this massive difference? Is that the impact that Leo Messi makes immediately this evening? That's the part that's most interesting to me tonight. So, obviously, we're dialed into that here in the Zaslow Mansion. Well, we're a Messi household anyway. We love Messi. My wife's family's Argentinian. Both my boys love Leo Messi. They're super excited to go to games. Are we going to the game tonight? No, we are not going to the game tonight. I'm also not selling my tickets to the game tonight. I don't have tickets for the game tonight. And the reason is because this is not part of the season ticket package. This is a tournament. It's at Dry Pig Stadium. We're lucky to get, it's really cool that Messi's debut is in this tournament, and the games happen to be here, these first two games in their group play. So I don't have tickets tonight because it's not part of the season ticket package. And I wasn't going to go out of my way and buy the tickets for it. They were like $200 to $250. I would advise you guys, if you want to go tonight, like for instance, I'll look it up right here, live with you guys. I'm going to look up StubHub secondary market, okay? Let's see what the tickets are going for. Now, you got to understand, this is the morning time, all right? So you're listening right now in the future. This is the morning right now as I'm doing this show. So right now, tickets for Leo Messi's debut tonight, Dry Pig Stadium. Hold on a second. Let me, I gotta include the fees, because there are some people out there who apparently don't want to know what the actual price is. It's so stupid when you go on Ticketmaster and StubHub. What? Yes, show the price with fees. Why do I want to know the price that's less than what I'm actually going to pay? No, give me the price with fees. So anyway, cheapest ticket to get in. It's not bad. Cheapest ticket to get in, $215. And that happens to be, let's see, it's inside the six. It's on the sideline inside the six. And you're 30 rows up, whatever it is. 15 rows up, actually, I think is what it is. So 17. So cheapest seats on the sideline, right inside the six, and 17 rows up, $215. And look, anywhere you sit in this stadium, it's a small little stadium. So $215. But if you're thinking about going tonight, I'm telling you, wait till about 60 minutes before the game. Prices are going to drop. And here's the move. Prices will drop. Look, you know I'm the ticket ninja, so I'm throwing you a bone here. I'm helping you out. Here's the move. You go to the game. You don't have tickets yet. You go to the game. And then while you're outside the stadium, you're monitoring the ticket prices. And at about 60 minutes before, because here's the thing. If you buy on StubHub, if you buy on Ticketmaster resale, you get the tickets immediately. On StubHub, the seller has a window of like 60 minutes. So if you buy the tickets 10 minutes before kickoff, you could potentially miss the start of the game. And you don't want to miss the start of Messi because they don't have to send you the tickets. They have like a 60-minute window. So that's why I tell you, at about 7 p.m., it's an 8 p.m. game tonight. Go to the game, park, and this way, you order your tickets like an hour before the tickets are going to drop, and then you'll have the tickets on your phone maybe just a few minutes before kickoff, and this way, boom, you're already there. You'll walk right into the stadium. That's the move tonight. You're welcome. That's a free tip right there from the Ticket Ninja. You're welcome. So that's what I would do tonight if I was going. I do not want to go tonight. I have no interest in going tonight. Why? I don't trust Inter Miami. And what I mean by that is, and you saw the scene there at the unveiling last week, and I'm not talking about the production as far as watching at home, which was awful, and that, I don't even know how much of that was Inter Miami, but I do know it has nothing to do with, this game tonight. But what I do know is the parking situation is horrific there. The getting to and from, the roads there, the closures, disaster. And as far as, getting into the, are they prepared for this tonight? It didn't look like they were prepared for the unveiling. This is not unveiling. This is the actual game. If you're going to the game tonight, I really think, if I was going tonight, the game's at 8 p.m., I would leave my house at 5 p.m. I would plan on leaving my house at least 3 hours in advance. Because the worst thing that could happen is you're sitting there in traffic off Commercial Boulevard, empty warehouses. You know it's going to be at a standstill, and you miss the start of the game. That's a disaster, and that's going to happen. People will miss the start of the game because you know how it is here in Miami. We arrive late or we arrive right on time. I would try to get there around 2.5 to 3 hours before the game starts. Because I'd rather just be waiting in my car, bring some Publix subs, Messi's favorite supermarket, bring some barbecue, bring a soccer ball to kick around, bring a football to throw around, whatever. I would bring a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba. It's the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0. Bring a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba, European roots with a Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. You know what I'm talking about. Pick up a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba on your way to the game here. Your local Sedanos, Presidente, Fresco y Mas. And of course, don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra. I live my life by it. Leo Messi probably lives his life by it too. Stay tranquilo. Bring a 6-pack. Bring 2 6-packs of Johnny Cuba with you. I would hang out in the parking lot for 3 hours waiting for the game, waiting to go inside, rather than risk being stuck in my car because I can't get to the stadium on time. I would go 3 hours in advance. But I'm not going tonight because I got to let a couple, and that's tonight and Monday against Atlanta United, League Cup games. I need to see a couple trial runs in front of me before I head down there. Because I think it's going to be a disaster tonight. It's Leo Messi. It's the most famous athlete in the world. It's the greatest soccer player in the world. Or greatest soccer player ever, I say. He's probably not the greatest anymore these days. But just came off winning his first World Cup with Argentina. It's going to be crazy tonight. And really cool to be there. But I don't trust Inter Miami. I don't trust the organization. I don't trust the infrastructure. I need a couple trial runs in front of me. I'll watch from home tonight. And then the third game that he's in, which will be an MLS game, see you there. By then, you got a couple trial runs in front of you. I watch the games on my couch, Zaslow Mansion family room on the couch, in my underwear, and then I'll finally go to a game. That's how we'll do it. So, I am not going tonight, and I am not even interested in going tonight. I am very interested in watching. I think tonight's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm really into watching tonight. So, just like I was paying attention, well, just like I'm waiting for the clock for all day long. I'm waiting for the unveiling. I was really excited and super disappointed. That's not going to be the case tonight because, I mean, you know you're getting a game. Now, I do wonder in this scenario where, like, this is where, see, I'm smart enough, or at least I'm honest enough to admit that I know what I don't know. And one of those cases, now, I'm an inaugural season ticket holder for Inter Miami. You guys know that. And I know I also come off as a soccer, an expert, but I'm really not an expert. I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, or at least honest enough to admit what I don't know. And what I mean by that is, like tonight, is Messi starting tonight? Or do they bring him in as a sub and, he gets the huge ovation, holy shit, Messi's in. My guess is that he starts. I think everyone is there to see, we know they're all there to see Messi. We know everyone tuning in. I mean, I don't, was this true? Like the viewership for the unveiling? If that's any sign of this deal with Apple Plus, they must be super excited. I think Messi's got to start, if only for that. Like, MLS probably makes a call to Messi's people, and Inter Miami's like, listen, we need him in the starting 11. So, my guess is that Messi starts, but there's no way he plays the whole game. Like, does he play, like, 55 minutes, maybe 60 minutes? Probably, and also starts the second half, plays, like, 10 minutes at the start of the second half. There's no chance he plays the whole game. Like, I don't know if he'll ever play the whole game. Like, can Messi still go 90 minutes strong? I'm not sure about that. But again, that's one of those areas where I'm honest enough to tell you that I know what I don't know. And this is one of those cases. How much is he going to play? Is he going to start? That kind of deal. Super excited about tonight, man. Must-see TV. And I know, the only thing that we can compare it to essentially was when we got LeBron. And the first game was the Heat at the Celtics that year in 2010. And then the first home game was the Heat against the Magic. And I went to that because that was actually right before I started on the Miami Heat broadcast, because 790 a ticket didn't pick up the Miami Heat rights until 6 games into that season. It was a whole weird legal battle. And so, which I don't need to get into because it's going to bore you with all the minutia. But I remember had to be there for that. That is, I feel like that's nothing compared to what tonight's going to be. But it is funny because the expectation immediately for the Heat was championship right now. That's definitely not the expectation for Inter Miami. And I wonder when it will become the expectation for Inter Miami. And certainly, look, they're in last place and it's the middle of the season. So it's apples to oranges. But I told you, the way that I experienced, or the way that I am experiencing when LeBron came here compared to now Messi coming here. When LeBron came here, I was excited about LeBron coming here because of what it means for the Heat. Because that's going to mean championships. I'm excited for Messi coming here because I get to watch Messi. I've given very little thought to, is he going to bring championships to Inter Miami? That's not what it's about. For me, I'm excited to watch Messi. It's not as important to me if Inter Miami is actually going to be winning or winning championships. Just get to watch the greatest soccer player ever. It's crazy that he's going to play here where we live. Hey guys, you know what else is crazy? If you got a leak in your home, you don't know where it's coming from and then just letting that linger. I mean, that's not only crazy, that's stupid. If you got a leak, you don't know where it's coming from, you call or text Water Cleanup of Florida. That's right. My boys, the Greensteins at Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. They have over 60 years of combined experience. The team at Water Cleanup of Florida is prepared to handle all types of leak detection issues 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. After the leak has been located and repaired, Water Cleanup of Florida cleans, dries, and fully restores the damaged areas. They're fully licensed, insured. Water Cleanup of Florida is certified to provide that one-stop shopping that all of us busy business owners and homeowners require. You don't need to bring in any other contractors. Water Cleanup of Florida handles the entire project from start to finish. And don't worry, wherever you're listening, they serve the entire Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. You could also go to WCUFL.com. Follow them on Facebook. Follow Water Cleanup of Florida on Instagram. Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. Water Cleanup of Florida. We clean up your schmutz. So, let's have some fun here. Super excited about Messi tonight. We're dialed in, the Zaslow family. We're going to be on the couch in the Zaslow Mansion family room. You know that, man. It's bad news for Cruz Azul. It's bad news. Anyway, Christopher Nolan. I think he's the greatest film director out right now. Oppenheimer's out in theaters today. Major, major hype. I don't know how much money it's going to make. It's a story about the atomic bomb. I don't know how much money it's going to make because I feel like the only movies that make a ton of money now are the superhero movies and some of the big action films. And this is not an action movie. Now, it does have the Christopher Nolan name attached to it. It's got a great cast. Cillian Murphy, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr. Incredible cast. That's going to be interesting seeing Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, when's the last time you watched a movie with Robert Downey Jr. where he's not Tony Stark Iron Man? Anyway, I'm really excited for it. My favorite all-time director is Quentin Tarantino. But Christopher Nolan is probably the best director out there. And my younger son, Jordan's way into movies. And when I said Christopher Nolan, best director, he goes, what about Steven Spielberg? It's like, yeah, but Spielberg doesn't really direct anymore. You know, he doesn't really do it anymore. So I sent out a tweet this morning. You can always follow me at ZASLOW Show. Go to at ZASLOW J on Instagram, where of course I'm an influencer. But I sent out a tweet this morning at ZASLOW Show. What is Christopher Nolan's best film? And got a bunch of answers. I didn't want to do a poll because of the poll questions. You can only put like 4 answers. And this is his 12th film that he's directed, Oppenheimer. Now, what is his best film? So you can always hit me up there at ZASLOW Show on Twitter. I'm gonna rank. I'm gonna give you my order of Christopher Nolan films. But here's the thing: there's a couple catches. I have not seen 3 of them. Obviously, I have not seen Oppenheimer, but I have not seen 2 other of his films, which I think are his first 2 films. 2 out of 3 that he directed. I have never seen Following, and I've never seen Insomnia. I know Insomnia, Al Pacino, Robin Williams. I've never seen either of those 2. So the rest of his films, I got 9 others. But I broke them up into 2 different parts because you know I'm going to have the Batman films at the very top. So I'm pushing the Batman films off to the side. His best Batman film is The Dark Knight. Everybody knows that. Then I got Batman Begins and then The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is not as good as the other 2, but it's still great. The Dark Knight Rises was one of my all-time favorite movie-going experiences. And I should mention, because I talked about it a few days ago where I was watching The Dark Knight, and is there a movie with a better opening scene than The Dark Knight with the bank robbery scene? And by the way, I apologize. I know he's a listener. William Fichtner, I called him Robert Fichtner on Twitter. He's William Fichtner. He's the bank manager at the beginning of The Dark Knight. And I really apologize, William. I really apologize. So, talking about great opening scenes in movies, how about The Dark Knight Rises, where Bane and his crew hijack the plane, and then they escape the plane in midair onto another plane? That opening scene's crazy. All right. Anyway, so we're talking 6 other Christopher Nolan films. I have ranked them from 6 to 1 as far as my favorites. Number 6, and this movie got a lot of hype, and it looked really cool. Tenet. I don't care about Tenet. Not only is it number 6 for me, but if we did all of his movies, it's last. John David Washington, Robert Pattinson. Look, I'll be honest with you here. Tenet came out a few years ago. I still don't know what the movie's about. I still don't understand it. So, you know, some of the movies forward, some of the movies going backwards. I don't understand Tenet. And I'm not afraid to tell you that. Like, I'm a reasonably intelligent person. If I have no idea what's going on in the movie, you made it too complicated. Like, there are some movies, like, hey, there's some Christopher Nolan movies that we're going to get to here, which are complicated. And you got to really pay attention to. That's okay. You got to think about, oh, I get it now. I still don't know what Tenet's about. If I still don't know what it's about, you made it too difficult. All right, next, Dunkirk. I like Dunkirk. Not a whole lot of dialogue in the movie. I enjoyed Dunkirk. I know Dunkirk was a little bit polarizing for a lot of people. I know not everybody loved it. I really enjoyed it. But Dunkirk is low on my list because I don't find there to be that many memorable scenes. I didn't think it's that memorable. And if I don't remember, like if nothing really stands out to me, how could it be one of his best films? How could it be one of my favorites? Number 4, Memento. That was the first Christopher Nolan film I saw. Super freaking cool movie starring, what's his name? Guy Pearce. He forgets everything. What is it? Like 5 minutes later, he forgets everything. So he writes stuff down. He gets things tattooed all over his body. And the movie goes backwards, right? They're doing the movie backwards, from backwards to forwards. Really, really cool movie, Memento. All right. Number 3, Interstellar. I only saw Interstellar for the first time about 6 months ago. Never got around to it. Always wanted to see it. And you know I'm going to like Interstellar because there's a time travel element to it, even though that's not really what the movie's about. I really dug Interstellar. Interstellar is one of those movies where super difficult to understand. You watch it a couple times, you think about it, maybe you read a little bit about it on the internet. It's like, oh, okay. And that certainly was the case for me with the final scene where McConaughey knows not to spoil it for you, but where he's the ghost, you know? So I had to kind of read a little bit about that, but there's so much cool stuff going on in Interstellar. Like when they're outside Gargantuan and the time difference on that planet compared to Earth, and it's 7 years for every hour, and homeboy on the ship is stuck on the ship for 23 years because they were on that water planet for like 3 hours. Crazy. Like, I really dug Interstellar. Really cool movie. Number 2, The Prestige. Prestige is an awesome movie. Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Michael Caine. I forget the actress's name. Oh, but also Scarlett Johansson. Great twist at the end of the movie. David Bowie. That's the last film he appeared in right before he died. He may have died before it came out even. Am I remembering that correctly? And you also have, what's his name? The short guy who's with David Bowie in that movie. I forget what he was. He played Alfred in the newest The Batman. I forget his name. Whatever. Nobody cares but me. The Prestige. Awesome movie. That's number 2, which of course leads to number 1, my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, Inception. Leonardo DiCaprio, Ellen Page. I know that's not his name anymore. What's his name? Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Cillian Murphy, Tom Berenger. What a cast in this movie, right? Inception. Phenomenal movie. So cool. That's what, like, I don't know that Inception's even hard to understand, but you do have to pay attention. And if you are understanding the movie as it's going, it's like, holy shit, this movie is so freaking cool. It's so well done. I can't recommend Inception enough. And Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on. He's my favorite actor. And I don't know if it's really a twist at the end of the movie, although it kind of is. It leads some interpretation there. Did this happen or did this happen? Inception, one of the coolest movies of all time. I think it's Christopher Nolan's best film. You can hit me up at ZASLOW SHOW. I'd be interested in hearing. If you want to give an order, maybe give the top 5 if you want. Do you want to split them up, like push aside the Batman movies? Because those are obviously going to be 1, 2, 3 for me. You could do that if you want as well. But there you go. So, Oppenheimer out today. That'll likely be in big movie, not a big movie. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But Christopher Nolan, for my money, best director out there right now. So, I'm looking forward to hearing some of your lists. Anyway, there you go. Let's get some more sports here. We started off with Messi. Then we did some Christopher Nolan. Obviously, we got big movie, not a big movie coming up. We'll do big game, not a big game coming up. First, though, guys, it's the weekend. Maybe you do have some time on your hands. And maybe you're saying, you know what I'd like to do? I'm thinking about getting a new ride. But I got to know where to go. What car should I look for? Well, I'm sending you to the only car dealership I personally endorse. I'm talking about North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. If you're in the market for a new car, I send you to North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. You walk in the showroom doors, a member of their friendly sales team will help navigate you in the right direction. Are you looking for an SUV for the family? Are you looking for something simple, just a sedan for yourself? Well, North Fort Lauderdale Subaru has the newest Subaru models on the market. That includes the Outback, the Crosstrek, the Forester, the Ascent, the WRX. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru has the perfect model for you. Get sizzling summer savings at North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. New Subaru models starting at just $249 a month. Save up to $1,500 off MSRP on select new Subaru models in stock. Plus, receive up to $750 in trade-in assistance. You shop NFLSubaru.com. So easy to remember, right? North Fort Lauderdale Subaru, conveniently located on North Andrews Avenue, just north of Cypress Creek Road. The building you know and the place to go. NFLSubaru.com. North Fort Lauderdale Subaru. All right. So, let's get to the heat here. I don't have anything new on Damian Lillard other than I want to give you this clip here from Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes and Mark Stein, they do a podcast. This is from their podcast yesterday. I forget the name of it. But this is Chris Haynes, who we know is dialed in with the Blazers and specifically Damian Lillard. So here's the latest update on what he's essentially calling a stalemate between the Heat and the Blazers.
Obviously, the Miami Heat, they're a bit frustrated with how things are moving along slowly. Portland is telling them to bring us your best offer. Miami would like to know, what does Portland want? And Miami is not getting that answer. And so they feel like things could be moving on a little bit quicker if Portland would say exactly what it is they want. Because obviously Miami doesn't have all of the assets that Portland would want in a return for a Damian Lillard trade. So they want to know, okay, what do we have to get out there? What other teams do we have to get involved to make this work? And so far, the communication is just not there. And so that's making this situation rather frustrating on that side for Miami.
Okay, so I'm not sure entirely what to believe here because Chris Haynes is talking there. We know he's dialed in with Portland. We know he's dialed in with Lillard. But he's talking from a Heat perspective there, and Miami's frustrated on how things are moving slowly. I mean, I don't know that Chris Haynes is getting that from Miami because we know they have no leaks, and we know that there's no real insider unless you want to say Levitard. But otherwise, there's no other insider out there in the media with the Miami Heat who's going to get information from the Heat. Levitard's the guy. That's it. No one talks there. So, are we assuming that Miami's frustrated? I don't think that's how the Heat operate. I don't think they get frustrated. I think, and like Chris Haynes said, the Heat have made their offer. This is our offer. I think the Heat make their offer, and they are totally content with being patient. I think the Heat make their offer like, we would like to acquire Damian Lillard. This is what we're offering. If there's another offer out there, let us know, and then we'll come back with something else. Otherwise, it's not within the Heat's makeup to be getting frustrated right now when we're 2 months away from training camp. Why would the Heat be getting frustrated right now? I don't believe there's a frustration with the Heat, especially because the sides are probably not talking right now. The Heat made their offer. Let us know when you want to talk again. So they're not talking right now. It's not like one side's being difficult on one end of the phone or the other side's being difficult on the other end of the phone. The Heat know there's no other offers out there, and the Heat believe they're going to get him. So the idea that the Heat are frustrated with Portland right now, I don't buy that. I think they're totally content and being patient. There's no clock here, and the fake clock is in 2 months from now. Why would the Heat be getting frustrated right now? That's not how they operate. So I don't buy into that report very much. And the whole Portland is saying, give us your best offer. This is the best offer. The Heat are not going to offer anything else while there isn't anyone else offering anything. Why would they do that? The Heat are not going to bid against themselves. That, from Portland's perspective, and if I'm a Portland fan, this is where I get annoyed at Damian Lillard. this is why it bothers me what Damian Lillard did. Because at least with Bradley Beal, he gave 2 teams. So they were able to at least pit Phoenix against Miami. The Blazer fan doesn't get that. The Blazers are going to have to work a deal with Miami because he's not willing to go anywhere else. So Damian Lillard did kind of screw the Blazers in that spot. Yes, he's got a no trade. He doesn't have a no trade clause, but Portland's not in control. And Portland is going to have to trade him before training camp. And Lillard has made it very clear. I mean, think about it. No other team has made an offer to Portland. A player of Damian Lillard's caliber, and only one team has made an offer? Yeah. Miami's the only team that is going to get Lillard. The other teams are completely scared off. It's why the agent did a terrific job. Because Portland can be mad, or Lillard can... See, I think Lillard's frustrated with the pace. I don't think Miami's frustrated with the pace. I think Lillard's frustrated with the pace. It's all going to work out for the Heat. Lillard wants to move on with his life. He's going to be frustrated. The Heat don't have to do anything but sit and wait. So, if I'm a Blazer fan, I am annoyed with Lillard. He kind of screwed you there. But this is why I'm always pro team. I'm never pro player. Because you love Damian Lillard if you're a Blazer fan. But on his way out, in order to get what he wants, which he's entitled to want what he wants. But in order to get what he wants, he has to kind of screw the Blazers. Which is what he's doing / did by only taking a deal to Miami. So as a result, the reason I'm not pro player, and I'm never going to be pro player, and I'm always going to be pro team, call it pro billionaire owner if you want, call it pro management. It's pro team. And that's because you love Damian Lillard if you're a Blazer fan until he doesn't want to be on your team anymore. And then he screws you, which is what's happening. He's kind of screwing the Blazers. So as a Blazer fan, why would I ever be pro player? I'm always going to be pro team. The team's goals are always going to be aligned with mine. The player's goals are aligned with mine until he doesn't want to play for the Blazers anymore. And now he's screwing me. So yeah, I'm never going to be pro player. I'm always going to be pro team. But that's, and I know there's a couple more things here from Chris Haynes. Let's see here. Quote, both teams are heading on vacation, especially the key people in the front office who play a larger responsibility in trying to make a deal happen. Dame's agent, Aaron Goodwin, was hoping Miami and Portland would meet in Vegas during Summer League. That did not happen. Okay, they could be on vacation, but you can't tell me that Portland's ready to close the deal and Pat Riley's like, yeah, I'm sipping a Mai Tai right now on the beach. I'll talk to you in a week when I get back home. Like, what does that mean? Both teams are on vacation. You know that's not the way it goes. You know that's not how things operate. So that's where we are right now going into the weekend as far as the Lillard stuff. I do have something fun to play for you, if you're a Heat fan. I do have something fun to play for you on Grant Williams. So Grant Williams was on a podcast yesterday, which inexplicably is hosted by Theo Pinson, who I forget what team he plays for, but you remember, he was the guy who was in street clothes, who was wearing the same color shirt as the team they were playing against, and then that team passing the ball because it's really I think it's with the Mavericks. Oh, that makes sense. That's why Grant Williams will be on his podcast now, because they're now teammates. So he's kind of a dick where he does it on purpose. He wears the shirt of the other team and stands up, so it ends up being a turnover. He's kind of a dick. So, but I mean, Theo Pinson has a podcast. Everyone's got a podcast. So anyway, Grant Williams is a guest on this podcast yesterday. And of course, he's asked about what went down Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals with Jimmy Butler.
I know everybody want to know. The hell did you say to Jimmy? You pissed him the f off.
Hey, listen, that's a funny thing that happened. Like, we're playing that game. I think we're about 8. I'm playing well. And Jimmy says, like, hell no, he ain't here.
Yeah.
So I made it 3. I said, hell no, motherfucker, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I said that to him. Barking, you know, because I'm not gonna let. He said, "I'm gonna always respond. Like, I'm not gonna be. I'm never gonna be that guy. I never talk trash myself, and you know this. Yes. I'm not a trash talker. I'm too nerdy.
Yes.
So like,
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I said, hell, I'm here.
Nigga might say an algorithm or something. That might be his comeback.
So next thing you know, that happens. The next play, Jimmy, hezzy, boom, boom, stop, pivot, and one.
Yes.
And he said, I'm here too, motherfucker. And so I'm like, we're going back and forth. Because, like, me, I'm not backing down. Like, that's kind of what we were missing in that series. They were punking us the entire time.
For sure.
So we go back and forth, whoop whoop. And it's crazy that I always look back at him like, yo, I scored our last 10 points?
Yeah, you was going crazy.
And he had 8.
Yeah.
So, like, but the difference is Strus made a 3, Vincent made a 3, so they ended up winning the game. If that doesn't happen, we win the game. No one brings that up. No one says poke the bear or stuff like that.
For sure.
So next thing you know, the difference between me and DB is that, like, after the game, media, I was like, listen, bust my ass. Like, I'm going to be able to come back next game. Like, I'm not running from nobody. I'm not scared. I'm not going to get punked. Woo-doo-woo. Next game, you saw, like, I defended really well. You didn't play well. I blocked the shot, palmed it.
Yeah.
And so, like, Jimmy knows, like, this is all love because we're just competitors, like, naturally. So, like, afterwards, he even said, he respect him, like, stuff like that because he's a competitor. I just normally do this to get myself going. And I respect it, too, because everybody has their own thing. But ended up losing that series, and it sucks because go to the finals, who knows what happens. But,
boy,
world works in mysterious ways.
Okay, so the first thing that I would say, and that's good shit. The first thing I would say here is I would take Grant Williams on my team. And there were conversations about this. I know during the season that Grant Williams would be a good fit on this Miami Heat team. There was no way for Miami to work it out, especially in the offseason, especially because they're in a holding pattern with all the Lillard stuff. But regardless of, outside of that, irregardless of that, I would take Grant Williams on my team any day. I would. I think he's a good role player. He's got a good attitude. And I think for the most, and he plays like a dog. And look, stood right up to Jimmy Butler. Now, did it backfire? Yes. I think it backfired because while obviously, could have went either way. And it's one of those deals where, you lost, so it was your fault. And that's kind of unfair. But that's the way it goes. If you're a role player and you're going to step to the star player on the other team and the star player then, balls out the rest of the way and you lose, you're going to get blamed. It's just an easy thing for everyone to point at. It doesn't mean it was your fault. It doesn't mean it wasn't your fault. It's just a really easy thing to point at. That's the way it goes. That's how sports operate. But I will say, there are some guys who you don't want to poke. And I think Jimmy Butler would be on the list of guys you don't want to poke. Like other guys you don't want to poke. You don't want to poke LeBron. We saw it with Dylan Brooks. I think you don't want to poke Steph Curry. He's the babyface assassin, but still an assassin. Jimmy Butler is one of those guys I think you don't want to poke. Oh, Zaslow, you're saying all great players. No, I don't agree with that. If you get into an argument with Giannis, do you think Giannis then turns it up a notch? No, I think Giannis is Giannis. I don't think Giannis is one of those guys. Oh, make sure you don't poke him. Make sure you don't say anything to him. I don't see Giannis as one of those type of guys. I don't see Luka Doncic as one of those type of guys because Luka's trash talking the whole game anyway. Luka's in one mode. Like Jimmy sometimes will be kind of coasting. And then he picks his spots. And the spot he decided to pick was now, since you decided to poke the bear. And now I'm going to be super aggressive the rest of the fourth quarter. Because that's not always Jimmy's style. Jimmy doesn't care about being the number one scorer. He doesn't care about taking all the shots. But, you want to fuck around? Now you're going to find out. Like Jimmy Butler, I think is one of those guys you don't want to poke. But I would take Grant Williams on my team. I would. And here's the interesting part of that clip that I believe. Grant Williams truthfully tells you, yeah, Jimmy went and scored the next 10 points. I scored 8 points in a row for us. And then what does he say? He goes, but also you had Max Strus who hit a 3 in there. You had Gabe Vincent who made a play in there. Their guys were making shots. You know what he's doing there? He's telling you, all right, Jimmy and I were playing even there. He scored a bunch of points in a row. I scored a bunch of points in a row. They had a couple other guys who make shots. We didn't. That's what he's saying there. They had a couple other guys who helped Jimmy in that spot. I did my part scoring down the stretch. No one helped me. Now, I don't mean like no one helped me like I'm the star, you got to help me. But no one else was doing any scoring outside of him. He was trash talking Jimmy, and he stepped up to the plate. No one else stepped up behind him. And you know what? He's right. So that was good stuff right there. That was good stuff right there from Grant Williams. And overall, yeah, I would take Grant Williams on my team, man. I think he's a winning player. I like how he plays.